Warning, this video shows and discusses spoilers from Final Fantasy XIV and Walker. I hate these two songs. I hate them because I love them. And what I mean by that is these songs make me so incredibly emotional. And it's frustrating to know that no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to not get emotional when I listen to these two songs, I cry. And the reason is the Flow Motif. The thing about Flow is that it is haunting. You've come to the end of your journey. You are tired. You have played for 500 some odd hours. You reach this point and all of a sudden it's just pitch black except for that beautiful sky. It's you and Medion. And you're having this conversation and all of a sudden Flow kicks in. You realize that things are going to be okay. That maybe we've given Medion a new reason to keep going, to change their ways. But actually, I want to take it a step further and say that Flow works so incredibly well because of what it means to us as individuals. I know we each have varying degrees of connection to Final Fantasy XIV's story. For me, Flow represents something way deeper than just this story, because Flow represents my story. Flow represents the losing of a loved one. Flow represents reconciling that loss and hoping I'll see them again, and navigating that sense of grief. Flow transcends the game that it appears in. And when video game music does that, that's when it's taken to the next level. The beautiful thing about Flow is that even though it is written from the perspective of Heidelin, welcome and well met, my brave little spark. How long you've wandered, burned bright as a star. Well, I have awaited you patiently all this time, past every fate. For those of us that have lost someone that we deeply miss, we hope that we will get to hear those words said to us. Welcome and well met, my brave little son. How long you've wandered. I've been waiting for you. Now sing with me once more. Share of your life. Tell me your stories. I've been watching you from afar. Tell me everything that you have experienced. Then the new verse starts. Remember the rain. Rain is something we attribute sometimes to sadness. A cloudy day with rain falling. It can be miserable if you're in the wrong mindset. Remember the rain near and far beloved. Each drop a blessing from heaven above. And instead of being depressing, it's inspired. Each drop of rain is a blessing from heavens above. And how as time flowed on, those waters became one. Streams, rivers, and lakes, joined together, reach the horizon and far beyond. They carry onward, however changed with each brief reflection, by setting sun, by storm's wake, till welcomed home to gentle sea. You are embraced. You are loved for who you are, for what you've experienced, for being the person that exists in this world. You are embraced because you are loved. Deep, dark, far away, I have heard your voice. I'm getting chills even reading these lyrics. Deep, dark, far away, I have heard your voice. Weighed your every choice. Now our hands join round the meaning you sought for your life. I'll catch your tears, quench your fears with joy, till you near the shore, where in time all shall as hope be reborn. I wouldn't say I'm a deeply religious person, but these lyrics feel very connected to the idea of heaven, the idea of seeing our beloved departed again. Grief is a funny thing. It never goes away. It's never that far out of reach. We grow with it. We merge with it. We become better at handling it. But grief is always right here. And there's something really powerful about the way that these lyrics move us. But even more masterful is how it sounds to music. It's ingenious, hurtful, and painful, and reflective. How stunning it is to have this music play with simple upper register piano. It is so simple and peaceful. There's open space in here for breath. We play the first notes, and Amanda's voice comes in.
My brave little spark, how long you've wandered, burned bright as a star. Oh, I have awaited you patiently all this time, past every as the tale overflows and carries your to sea.
It's so hard to analyze this from a musical perspective because of how deeply touching and connecting this is. The way that Amanda sings this is so sublimely beautiful. It's not overproduced. It's not over vibratoed. It's not over hyper perfect in technique. It starts, remember the rain near and far beloved. Each drop a blessing from heavens above. It's interesting. It's almost like a conversation. Remember the days near and far beloved, right? Beloved. Each drop a blessing, each drop a blessing from heavens above. And then we change thought. And how has time flowed on these waters, whatever. It descends back down. And so it's really like this conversation with you delivered by one person. But I love how this music really is meant to be individualized. It's really meant to be personal. You hear that also in the piano, the way it starts. You hear how at the beginning of the piano here, it's all in the upper register. The upper register of the piano feels so bright, feels so heavenly, feels so childlike, innocent. There's a purity in the upper register of the piano. It's not in the middle register, which gives it a sound of warmth, or the lower register, which gives it a sound of darkness and depth. No, it's in the upper register. The upper register is always going to give us the tugging of our heartstrings feeling. It's childlike. There's a wonder to it. Coupled with the beautiful voice of a soprano over top. We don't use a tenor. We don't use a baritone. We don't use a mezzo. We use a soprano, the highest of the female voices. The soprano dictates the sensation of being talked to by a mother, obviously, for plot points. But it's so deeply, deeply connecting. Now we get strings coming in. Now it's not just the piano. But they only play at big chords. Remember yon, the day near and far beyond. We're setting ourselves up to build into, to launch into the fully orchestrated rendition of this.
Heavens above, and how has time flowed on those waters, became one.
Now we get the lower register.
Streams, rivers,
We just get undulating and pulsating strings.
the horizon, and far beyond, they carry onward, however change.
And then here. So we get that feeling. That feeling motivates us. It re-emphasizes the words that Amanda's saying with that double undulating string. We pull all the way back. We sort of delay that forward momentum. Change with each deep reception, ching chord, by setting sun, by storms wake. And then we go back in.
Reflection by
Sustained notes.
by storms wake, till we're come home to gentle sea, sinking deeper and deeper in calm embrace, loving tides sweeping and bear you down. Should you meet us?
We get a little bit of that Final Fantasy motif. But you notice that sinking deeper and deeper in calm embrace. We actually sink deeper. Calm embrace. We hold on to that sensation of being embraced as we go lower in the register.
Rising surface waves with your
Surface ways, we emerge back out with your unreading heart. Wish them well, wish them well, wish them well. The musical connection here between the text and what's being sung pitch-wise and note-wise is sublimely well done.
beating heart, wish them well. Deep dark
chorus, the way the
Hush, love, close your eyes. Reducing upright, the sun's distant light. It passed on to dreams below. Now you will wake, the winds rise again. For this journey's end is but one step forward to
But that's why I've avoided talking about this song for so long, because it's impossibly difficult to get through, especially when the chorus comes in. It's such a inviting and honest performance, and also an honest written piece that tells a story of what it means to experience grief, what you hope the person that you have lost would say to you when they see you again. And so it's a perfect piece when it comes to the context of this magical and wonderful experience that is playing Final Fantasy XIV's story. But it actually goes deeper than that. And it's one of those pieces that context really doesn't matter, because it's written so well that it exists outside of it in such a powerful way. This song is deeply moving. I've not heard a song in a video game or any experience really that has made me feel so emotional and connected to the loss of my dad, and what I hope that he would say to me as he, embraces me for the first time after years of not seeing him. And it doesn't help that we spend a lot. Final Fantasy XIV, between Footfalls and Flow, we hear both of those motifs a lot, which is very common in Final Fantasy XIV, to sort of variations on a theme. We have the Razat Han version of Flow, and for me personally, the one that really stands out to me is the Osharlian theme, the Nautilus Knoweth, which also makes me deeply emotional, so here we go. But what I would like to point out is it's basically the unplugged version of Flow. And in some ways it makes me even more emotional because of how pulled back it is, where it's only the guitar and the bongos or the whatever, percussion it is. It's so dialed in. Fundamentally, it is exactly the same as Flow. So how much can one really say besides the fact that the instrumentation really elevates this experience for me and makes Old Charlian one of, especially Night, of course, makes it one of my favorite places to visit when I'm visiting Final Fantasy XIV's world. The use of the bongo and the drum there to motivate and move that rhythm is delightful, coupled with the way that this melody works with guitar. There's something so honest and pure about hearing a guitarist slide their fingers up and down to match the chords and to play these notes. And it really gives this warm sense of brightness. But it has a tonal center that is really warm. And that's where I feel like in the lower register, especially, even though I think it's actually in the same register as the singer, as Amanda, the guitar provides us with a different quality. And it's something worth pointing out that just because we hear something in one way, it's interesting how then we can interpret it in a different way. And this music feels very learned and very, classy. And there's almost a classical guitar element to this where it feels like a classical guitarist composed this in the 1800s. It's odd because of that warm center of the guitar's sound quality. And this one too, it just hits me right in the feels, but not quite as intensely as Flow does. And that's why I hate both of these songs, because I love them terribly. They are two of the songs in video games that I have connected with most deeply when it comes to loss. The only other exception being for 14.3 billion years from Outer Wilds, equally as painful. And I think the acoustic quality of that, coupled with Old Charlene, is what makes these songs so powerful. And then you get the full production value when it comes to Flow. So yes, these songs are effective, especially in context, but they are prime examples of how video game music can transcend the medium it comes from and really bring us to our knees when it comes to feeling the emotions that we feel as human beings, each and every one of us. I love these pieces, and thanks.